Well, we've got Trevor Blank here. Now, his book is called There Is Only One Truth, which we're going to talk about. How are you today, Trevor?
I'm doing good.
So what was the inspiration to write this poetry book, There Is Only One Truth?
I've always written poetry my entire life, and it's just a matter of sitting down and looking at the reality of life and putting it into words.
What message do you hope readers will take away from this book?
With poetry, people take away different ideas. It's just a matter of getting rid of the scale and looking at the truth of what's available out there.
How would you describe the poetry and the content of this book, There Is Only One Truth?
What you do is you start with 2 lines, and that's going to give you the meter of your poetry. And all of these poems are also songs. If you look at them closely, you'll see that there is a verse and there is a chorus.
Your poetry has been described as profoundly introspective and emotionally charged. So how do you strive to achieve this depth of feeling and meaning in your work?
Well, I start at 3 o'clock in the morning. It gives me 3 to 4 hours of pure concentration on one topic, and you just shed away the fluff and dive right into the meat of your subject.
And your poetry also often incorporates vivid imagery and sensory details. So what's your approach to creating these images in your writing?
Well, it's like I said, I start with 2 lines, and I'm not sure where it's going to go. But once I've got 2 lines written, then I've got my meter, I've got my timing, and it's just a matter of building a picture with words around that meter, and it just flows.
And what do you think makes a good poem generally?
If I can read it 3 times and not throw it in the garbage, it's a good poem.
Yeah. And are you currently working on any future poetry projects or other poems?
I am, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to publish it or not because of the political situation in this country. And I'm diving into not necessarily the politics, but more of the personalities behind the politics. And it gets a little iffy. There's some poems I pulled out of this book that I decided not to put in, basically for my own safety.
Do you feel that it's still a free country because obviously there's no laws against it? You can write whatever poems you like, but the safety element, do you think that's an issue that a lot of people are worried about?
I think so. I don't think people may not be worried about it yet. But when I look into it, I survived one death threat. And if I was to publish some of the poetry I've got, I could very easily have my house sprayed with machine gun fire. It's getting that bad in this country.
So what advice do you have for aspiring poets, particularly those who are working on their first poetry collection?
Oh, just do it.
Yeah.
The first time you pick up a guitar, you certainly can't play it.
Yeah.
It takes practice. Gordy Lightfoot used to try and write 1 song a week. And he would not only write the song, but he would write the melody and the chords and everything in 7 days.
Wow.
And that was... well, that was him.
Yeah.
But no, if you want to be good, you have to practice. I've got probably 200 poems that I wouldn't show them to anybody because it was my early stuff, and some of it just didn't work. Some of it did, but the secret is just to do it. You might write 3 or 4 poems in a week and only keep one of them, but it's that one poem is the jewel. You learn from that one.
So where can we find this poetry collection, There Is Only One Truth?
It's on Amazon, on Kindle. That's probably the best place to get it. As far as book distribution, I'm not sure. That would be up to the publishers. But I know it's readily available on Amazon and on Kindle, which would probably be the best place to get it.
Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great to have you here.
Sure.